When people pass away, their name is carved into a random stone. Whomsoever breaks the stone will receive that person's best skill in life at their peak of skill. Clang, clang, clang. This rock was stubborn. It had been months since Kojiro was sentenced to the Hammerline. Day after day, week after week, rock after rock. He would spend the rest of his life breaking stones, looking for ore, pushing his body past its limits. All for a crime he did not commit. Kojiro dreamed about them. The three honorable men who betrayed and framed him. A disgrace to the title of samurai. He dreamed of their smug faces, their predator eyes as they sized him up, their lack of shame as they devoured and destroyed his life. Clang, clang, clang. He had gotten used to the labor, the poor food, the cruelty. Koji was stronger now than he had ever been, despite being thin and wiry, from persistently being kept near starvation. He worked hard. When his body had nothing left, he let his hate fuel the swinging of his hammer. The stone he was hammering shook loose and rolled to its side, revealing writing etched on the side that had been previously buried. A name. Stranger still, one he recognized. It had been 3 centuries since the legendary swordsman whose name adorned the rock had died, but people still knew his name. Even a poor swordsmith like Koji grew up hearing tales of the great Shinonaba. Koji wound up and drove his hammer down hard. Crack it started as a tingling in his fingertips. A mere moment passed before the whole of Shinonaba's experience washed over him. The years of training, the hard lessons learned through blood and sacrifice, the value of a life, the soul of a sword, theory, practice, muscle memory, mastery. Koji stared down at the hammer in his hand. A tool. One he suddenly knew 1,000 new uses for. His senses came alive. The clanging of the other inmates in the quarry hitting their rocks, the spring breeze rustling the fresh leaves adorning the nearby trees, the scuffle of feet behind him, the stink of the guard approaching. "Back to work, worm!" the guard shouted. Koji heard the scuff of his feet adjusting in the dirt, the sound his clothes made as he wound up, the whistle of the whip as it slashed through the air toward Koji. He heard it all, felt it even. Just as he heard the guard gasp as Koji caught the whip in his hand before it could strike him. It took some time to get the blood off after Koji was done with the guards. He had taken his time with them. He wanted to make sure he paid them back for every shred of cruelty they had shown to Koji and the other inmates. He bathed in a nearby stream for an hour, but did not take longer than he had to. There was work to be done. He had a sword that needed forging, and samurai that needed killing.